I bet a lot of y'all liked the game of charades and what have you. Of course, it's a pretty fun party game and what have you. In 1975, Mark Goodson and Bill Todman would give us a game show that kind of followed that one, but was short lived, and then they brought it back with a new title and what have you. I'm going to be talking about these two game shows, which are the game shows known as Showoffs and Body Language, today in this episode of the Wide World of Game Shows. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews presents Wide World of Game Shows. Greetings, my fellow YouTubers. Welcome again to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Noel, better known to you as the Big D. You can see I finally got my hair done. Now I'm back again with another episode of the Wide World of Game Shows. Now this time, in this episode, I'm going to be talking about two game shows that have a similar premise, but does have a few changes in them. But they're both games shows that are based on the ever-popular party game of charades. And let me tell you, the first one I'm going to talk about is pretty short-lived and very rare to find and what have you. So I'm going to talk about, first off, I'm going to be talking about the game known as Showoffs. Showoffs was Mark Goodson and Bill Todman's take on charades. It originally premiered on ABC in the summer of 1975, but it only lasted a half a year. Anyway, now, this show involved two teams competing in a game of charades. Two teams of three players competed. The teams were composed of two celebrity guests and one civilian contestant. One team wore red sweaters and the other blue over their street clothes. Because the team colors were indistinguishable, on monochrome-only television sets, which were still somewhat common in 1975, the words reds and blues were later printed on the front of each team member's sweater for the benefit of home viewers. Excuse me again. Now, it started with two rounds. Now, it had two rounds and what have you, and a final round. But it went through two formats. In the first format, one team was isolated while two members of the team acted out a series of words to their partner for 60 seconds. The actors could alternate in acting, and the guessing partner could pass on a word if he or she got stuck, but they could only do it once per turn. When time ran out, the isolated team returned to the stage and acted out the same words as the first team. The team that gets the most words in their own minute won the round, and the first team to win two rounds won the game. If a round ended in a tiebreaker round was played in which both teams had 30 seconds to act out three words. The team doing that in the fastest time won. Now, toward the end of the show's run, in the second format of the game, the method to win the game had changed. In this format, a team had to correctly convey and guess 7 words or more to win the game. Extra rounds were played if the goal had not been reached by the end of a full round. The tiebreaker was cut to 2 words in 30 seconds. Either way, the contestant on the winning team won a $1,000 prize package plus a chance to play the payoff round. Now, the show premiered on June 30th on ABC and what have you. Now, originally they had, Larry Blyden, who was recently well known for hosting the syndicated revival of Goodson Todman's popular game show What's My Line, who was up to host. But however, shortly after, a few pilots finished taping, Blyden went on a short vacation to Morocco, and while driving to Tantan, his rental car went off the road and overturned, knocking him unconscious. Doctors in an Agadir hospital were unable to contact his family for several days as Blyden had been carrying no identification. And then he died just on June 6th, just 24 days before the series was to premiere. This happened a couple of pilots were filmed on May 24th, 1975. So, and to replace him, they got, well, musical actor and dancer Bobby Van, who was already well known for being a big name on Goodson and Todman's Match Game and Telltales these last 2 years before. So anyway, I'll get to more of this in a little bit. Now let's go to the bonus round. In the first format, all four celebrities alternated turns acting out a series of words for the winning contestant to guess during the next minute during the first round, with each correct answer worth $1. When time ran out, one celebrity chosen by the contestant had 30 seconds to act out three words during the second round. Each word added a zero to the winning player's round one winnings. Guessing one word correctly was worth 10 times the money, two words 100 times, and all three 1,000 times the money earned in the first phase. As much as $10,000 could be won in this format. In format number two, about the time when the front game was changed, the bonus round was also revised. Now, the winning contestant acted out a maximum of three words to one of his or her two celebrity partners. He or she acted out the first two words for 10 seconds, each with those words worth $1,000 each. The contestant could choose to stop after either of the two were guessed or risk his or her earnings to that point and continue. On the third and final word, usually more difficult than the first two, the contestant acted out for 15 seconds. And the celebrity partner guessed it, the contestant won $3,000 more for a total of 5,000. If at any point the celebrity partners failed to guess a word correctly when time ran out, the contestant lost half of his or her own money and ended up to that point and the game ended. Regardless of either format, the champions switched teams and competed against the next contestant unless he or she was beaten or had accumulated at least $20,000 in total winnings. This show was also well known for being the first to actually use sound effects that would later be used on the Goods and Tommen produced Family Feud, which debuted on ABC the following year. They had the bell sound, which sounded whenever a teammate guessed the word correctly, became the clang for revealing answers on Family Feud. The dings for winning a game also were later heard on the show. If you won, if you stole the bank, and once you get the most popular answer. The Time's Up buzzer was later used as the strike buzzer. Now, unfortunately, I've never found any episodes with this. Additionally, when the player lost a bonus round, the losing horns fanfare from The Price is Right was played. So it seems this was the real first game to use outside of The Price is Right to use the losing horns fanfare, and not Card Sharks, which came out 3 years later. Please stand by. Sorry about that. Now, where was I? Oh yes. Now, so apparently, after Blyden's death, Goods and Tommy had very little time to react to this, as the first tapings for the series were only a few days away and substituted Van to the hosting role. This last minute change may have deterred potential viewers, although Van had proven himself quite popular as a panelist on Match Game and Tattletales, as I've said before. Promos that had been made prior to Blyden's death, using clips from one of the pilots, as was common with soon to debut games, had to be edited to remove his face and voice. Now, you can actually find one of the two pilots with Brian on Wink Martindale's YouTube channel. Showoffs premiered in the noon time slot, 11 o'clock for Central Time, replacing Password, which had just been canceled again and inheriting its predecessor's ratings problems. Despite facing competition from the magnificent Marble Machine on NBC, but it couldn't make any sort of dent for CBS's hit daytime drama The Young and the Restless, which was currently in its second season at the time. So, and it finished after a half a year, the day after Christmas. On December 26th, Showoffs aired its last showing and it ended, and bowed out in favor of Let's Make a Deal. So anyway, yeah. But anyway, now like I said, you can also find a couple episodes. well, one episode is available, and one that was shown during Buzzer's Lost and Found showings in 2021. You can find those on YouTube as well. Anyway, from what I've seen of Showoffs, it's a nice little game and what have you. Pretty fun and what have you. I feel sorry that it got canned in the first place, but well, from what I've seen of it, it's not too bad. What about it? What about the updated version that Goodson alone did on Charades? Well, here it is. Get ready as I talk about this game show that would come out um well almost a decade later in 1984 in the form of Body Language. Body Language was produced by Mark Goodson and originally premiered on CBS in the summer of 1984. And while it factually did okay and what have you, it was still kind of factually short lived, but did last longer than Showoffs did. Body Language was a show that was hosted by Tom Kennedy, who had recently hosted other games like Break the Bank and as well as host the syndicated and primetime version of The Price is Right. Johnny Olson was the announcer for this. It was his last game to announce before his passing in 1985, and Gene Wood, who was actually the announcer for Showoffs, took over, and Bob Hilton also shared as well. CBS premiered the show on June  4th, 1984. Now, unlike Showoffs, it did go have two teams go up against each other, but however, it only had one civilian contestant and a celebrity contestant, and also in a game of solving word puzzles. The words in said puzzles were relayed by playing charades, which followed the gameplay of Showoffs, while adding an element seen in the more recent Password Revival series of the time. Now, in the main game of Body Language, two rounds were played, with each team receiving one turn per round. On a team's turn, one member stood behind a podium while the other was shown a series of 5 words or phrases, one at a time, and had to get their partner to guess as many of them as possible in 60 seconds. The clue giver was not allowed to speak or use any props, including their own clothing, but had to use gestures to communicate the target words and or phrases. Any violation of this rule forfeited the rest of the team's time. The clue giver could pass on a word and return to it if there was time after playing through all 5. Each word puzzle consisted of 7 blanks, 2 of which stood for words that were not shown to the clue giver. Each correctly guessed word was placed into the puzzle, and the guesser was given a chance to guess. A correct answer awarded money to the team. If the guesser did not solve the puzzle, the guesser on the opposing team chose a blank to reveal and then offer the guess. The teams alternated in this manner until one guesser solved the puzzle. If neither of the guessers solved it after all 7 blanks were filled, the clue givers were then allowed one guess each. If neither of them could solve it, the solution was revealed and the money carried over to the next puzzle. If after time ran out, the original clue giver revealed a word that had not been guessed and the opposing team received the first chance at the puzzle. In the first round, each puzzle was worth $100 and the celebrities gave clues while the contestants guessed. The team members traded roles for the second round, with the puzzle value increased to $250. The first team to reach $500 won the match. If neither team had reached that amount after the fourth puzzle, a $250 playoff puzzle was played with no clues acted out. The two contestants took turns revealing one blank at a time and offering a guess. Contestants again took turns revealing a chosen blank and guessing the puzzle until one guessed correctly won the extra $250 and the match. Beginning with the 6th week of the series, parentheses were placed around the 2 words in each puzzle that were not available to be acted out. Starting on September 3rd, 1985, and continuing for the rest of the run, and contestants who got their celebrity partner to guess all 5 words during the second round won a $500 bonus, which did not affect the scores. In the bonus round, which was called the sweepstakes, in the first half of the bonus round, one team member had 60 seconds to act out up to 10 words or phrases. Originally, the celebrity gave the clues starting on June 10th, 1985. The champion decided where to give or receive the clues. As in the main game, the clue giver could pass on a word and return to it if there was time. The champion received $100 for each correct word, and a legal clue eliminated only the current word instead of ending the round. For the second half, the clue giver had to act out three new words or phrases in 20 seconds. Guessing all three multiplied the first half total by 10 for a maximum bonus of 10,000. A failure, awarded the first half total to the player. Any illegal clue ended this half of the bonus round immediately. The champions returning players, originally defending champions remain on the show until losing once in the main game, in the sweepstakes 5 times, or reaching $25,000 in winnings limit that was in effect for CBS game shows at the time, whichever came first. On September 24, 1985, the rules were changed to allow contestants who are defending champions to stay on the show until they either have 2 losses in the main game or have been in the sweepstakes 6 times. The winnings limit was increased to $50,000 on October 22nd. In the summer of '85, Body Language had a 2-month-long team week, and the teams played the standard game. Any winnings up to 2,500, were awarded in cash, while anything over that amount went to a savings bond that matured on the player's 18th birthday. During the 2-month-long team week, getting all 5 words in the second round won the team a bonus prize. The prize ticket cue for the show was reworked and later used as the classic concentration theme. Now, 3 pilots for the series were made on October 9th, 1983. The only change in the front game was scoring, with puzzles worth 100 to 200 and so on, was needed to win the main game. Future actress Anne-Marie Johnson, who of course would later go on to star on TV's In the Heat of the Night, was a contestant on one of the pilots. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot, she also starred on What's Happening Now. Johnson had recently appeared as a contestant in Child's Play, another Goodson produced game, in 1983. The end game was called 7 Chances. 2 puzzles were shown with the requisite 7 blanks. The celebrity chose the blank to be revealed, and the contestant tried to guess the puzzle. If they got both puzzles, they won $7,000 plus $1,000 per leftover chance. If they got one puzzle, the contestant won $500. Other differences include the set, which looked much greener, and the use of the theme song. The theme song was Working Girl March from the movie Tootsie. In addition, the theme was also later used for other unsold Goodson produced game show pilots like Star Words in 1983 and On a Roll in 1986. Also, the win cue from the 7 Chances in game was also used from the short-lived 1979 Goodson Tubman produced game Mind Readers, which actually had an episode shown along with Showoffs on Buzzer 3 years ago, prior to their Lost and Found. Let's see. And later on, the 1980 pilot of Puzzlers and the 1983 pilot of Star Wars. One of the 3 pilots later aired on Buzzer as well, when they started out in September 2015. Now, Showoffs had never been shown again because a lot of it was kind of, that's hard to explain. The series is believed to have been wiped as per network practices of that era. Reportedly, only one episode is known to exist and is among tape traders in very quality. Yeah. Anywho. And one of Blyton's pilots is held by the UCLA Film and Television Archive. But of course, I've mentioned Wink Martindale's YouTube channel has one of the pilot episodes. Now, as for Body Language, on the other hand, very easy to find, no problem. Game Show Network has aired the show at many times in 1994, and then again on Buzzer when it premiered in 2015. And the show has been continuing to be shown on there, and you can find full episodes of Body Language exclusively on YouTube. So anyway, body language, I think that's kind of underrated as well. I had seen a little bit of this, and it's not too bad of a game. I think this could have done well, but anyway, after almost 400 episodes were produced and aired, body language in it on January 3rd, 1986, after a year and a half on CBS. And then they sent Pressure Luck to that time, which would be canceled months later. So anyway, now you know about Showoffs and Body Language, two great but underrated and short-lived games based on charades. Tell me, what did you ever watch these game shows? Have you ever seen these one of them? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like the video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. And next time I'll be bringing to you my Saturday morning TV log of Underdog. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, check out these other episodes of the Wide World of Games shows. In the upper left-hand corner is the episode I did on Family Feud, which I mentioned later, use some of the sounds from Showoffs. Or go to the upper right-hand corner and see my review, well, not review, but another episode I did on the classic of Let's Make a Deal, or go to the bottom left-hand corner and see the previous episode, which has not done so well. Most of these episodes have done pretty well, but this one, it needs more views. And that was Supermarket Sweep. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe if you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., as well as wide world game shows. Then I'm your guy, and we'll have another episode coming up soon. I don't know when. Details to follow. So until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.